Pelican's reconstruction as a sailing ship started in the naval dockyard at Portland in Dorset in 1995. She was under continuous survey by the MCA and latterly Bureau Veritas for hull and machinery. Slipped for the first year, hull preservation was conducted in optimum conditions. After shot blasting inside and out, Pelican proved to be massively constructed and in superb condition. Watertight subdivision was increased to 8 sections with new bulkheads. All steel was provided by British Steel and certified. A lower deck was added and a redesigned poop to increase the accommodation. 75 tons of iron ballast was prepared and fitted between the frames clear of the hull. For fresh water and fuel, individual stainless steel tanks were designed and fitted below the lower deck. A scale model of the ship was built, setting 11 sails in a modern configuration of the 3-masted Chebec. Trials were conducted in open waters off Palma, Mallorca. The results were outstanding. A vindication of Phillips' barkentine rig, with the squaresail set uniquely on the mainmast. All details had been approved by Lloyd's, who also recommended that stump masts, which would be integral to the ship's structure, should be used instead of the conventional mast step. Single pole masts, essential for extreme bracing angles, were without precedent. The masts and associated fittings were fabricated in 20-sided hollow steel section at CU Fosco in Derbyshire. They were then fully galvanized before delivery to the ship. On the Isle of Wight, the spanker boom and royal yard were made under contract in laminated Douglas fir. To reduce top weight, the heavier lower yards were fabricated in aluminium to Lloyd's specification. Meanwhile, the weather decks were being laid in Borneo whitewood onto steel. Sealed on the underside with oxide, the timber planks were hauled down onto studs. Seams were caulked in arbor-coal. The masts were dressed on the quay. Tops and spreaders were welded to their respective stations and the jibboom fitted to the bowsprit. Hoisted aboard by crane, the masts were then bolted through a flange to their stump mast, which transfers the vertical load to the keel. The lateral thrust is taken by the shrouds and stays, served traditionally. They are terminated with turnbacks, seizings, and bottle screws. In Penzance dry dock, the rudder was replated and the original stern bush replaced. The ship's bronze anchor chain was surveyed in the dock bottom. A new custom-built Hunderstedt propeller and shaft were fitted, enabling the blades to be feathered to the horizontal to minimize drag when sailing. Normally, a head and a stern power is available through a conventional gearbox on the 300 horsepower Volvo main engine. The entire engine room is new and includes 2 ultra-quiet diesel generators, each one capable of providing electrical power for the whole ship. 2 reverse osmosis water makers are capable of 9 tons per day. Normal freshwater usage on passage is just 3 tons. A state-of-the-art sewage treatment plant allows Pelican to operate in the most sensitive areas of the world. Fitting out almost complete, sailing trials were conducted in Weymouth Bay in January 2007. The ability to drive the ship under all combinations of sail had been proved.
She has done her trials and they were wonderful. The sailing performance of the ship was outstanding, and we hope that we can prove this in some pretty adverse weather. This is one thing she has not received yet, and I'm quite anxious that she actually has quite a tough time of it through the bay, which I gather she may do from the forecast which we have today.
Extreme weather was not encountered until later in the year. It was handled with ease. Having crossed the Atlantic, competed in countless tall ship races, winning trophies and friends everywhere, Pelican is an inspiration. The speed and agility of the Barbary Coast pirate ships now lives on in Pelican of London for all to enjoy.